What's up, you guys? Welcome back. I know I haven't went live in a couple of days, a little bit longer than I normally do. But apparently, there's some type of shit going on in my neighborhood. I'll explain. Apparently, there was some gunshots, and they got a whole house taped off. And this would be a perfect time to investigate with the one wheel. But I gotta go to work, and I gotta be there by 9. So it's just not gonna, the investigation's gonna have to wait. I'll have to figure out what all happened. But a friend of mine who lives nearby posted that she heard some gunshots, and that's about it. So here we got, I'm gonna show you guys right now. They heard some gunshots here last night. Looks like they're taking somebody out or something. Hold up. Y'all see this? We got a whole lot of activity going on here. I don't know what on earth could be going on. They got this shit, crime scene taped off. They got investigators and shit. Somebody's dead. Ain't no doubt about it. They don't do all this shit for nothing. So I have no idea. He said Naples is turning into Miami. I have no idea what that's all about. I literally just heard about it from my wife. She just took the kids to school, and then she's seen all that activity in the neighborhood. And, neighbors are out here talking and stuff. I won't get the 411 till later. I'm sure my nosy ass wife will have this all figured out. What up, Wavy Cuts? So, yeah, it's just crazy. This shit can happen anywhere, and this is a really, really nice neighborhood. It's not, you almost never hear about no crime. Not even like little crime happens here. This is nothing like back home. Like, it's really, really strange to hear about anything like this happening here. But this shit can happen anywhere, and that's why you just gotta appreciate every day, man. I just appreciate every day. Try to spend as much time with your family as you can. Tell them you love them, and because you never know, man. So maybe somebody got caught cheating. That's what Tank says. Somebody got caught cheating. What up, Tank? Yo, I was feeling what you were saying the other day. I actually wanted to talk about that. He was talking about how clients be picky and sometimes give you a hard time when you're cutting their hair, and then they give you a hard time about the price. On top of that, we're gonna talk about that. What are you guys' thoughts about that? How does that make you feel when clients do that? Oh, I just realized I gotta comb out my beard. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what it is that happened. But like I said, my friend lives next door, and for those of you guys who might not have been in the room when I said this, my friend lives next door, and she posted on next door that she heard gunshots last night. And now we got all this going on. So it seems like there's an awful lot of activity for it to just be something minor. I don't know why there would be 6 cops at the house, crime tape, caution off, vans, the whole 9. So yeah, my guess is someone's probably dead, and it's definitely caused by unnatural causes. That's about as much as I could figure it out. He said that thug crap is played out. Even G-Unit's not G-Unit no more. So true. So true, man. I don't know, if you're watching this, somehow you found my live and you're watching this and you're still living that gangster life, I mean, really take stock of what's going on around you. How much money are you really making? How safe do you really feel? How safe is your family? I mean, these are the things that go through somebody's head when they start to mature, and when they want to get away from any type of crime and violence and stuff like that. Sonny said, "Don't play with my money, Smokey." Somebody owed somebody some money. Maybe that's what happened. Remember when Stewie lent money to Brian on Family Guy? He's like, "I'm getting tired of you ducking me, man. I'm getting tired of you ducking me." But so anyways, let's talk about this picky client, man. Let's talk about this picky client. You get a client that's in the chair. They could be picky. They could be rude. They could start to try to bum you, knock you down a little bit about the price. And Tank was talking about this earlier, and he said that basically we got into this business because we wanted to enjoy what we were doing, and those type of situations that pop up, like, you just don't really need it. I got so many clients who pay me double, triple, quadruple what I ask for, and their haircut's easy. So I was thinking about that. He put this up on Instagram, and for those of you guys who are not following Tank Be Chopping, I feel that, man, 100%, because I think back about all the customers I have that just treat me really well, don't give me a hard time, and just make my life super easy. Like, it's not always about doing the most difficult shit that ever happened. I mean, it's fun to do difficult haircuts, and it's fun to do, complicated styles and stuff like that. But when you get down to doing this in the trenches, that's how it is on Instagram world, YouTube world, fake reality world. But like in the real world, when you're in the trenches and you're picking up your clippers to make a living every day, putting hair on the floor, you're not looking to fight with that shit every day. You're not looking to do that every day. You're looking to make money. You're looking to have a peaceful day. You're looking to have fun. You're looking to enjoy the people you work with. You're enjoying the people you work for, and that's what it should be about. Good morning, Nana. Nana's in the house. It's Kathy D'Angelo. Can't wait. I'm gonna come see you in like 2 weeks. He said, I practice cutting off my hand. I practice cutting with my offhand on my picky clients. I got you, man. He said, you know what? I'm real picky, man. Sits down, already setting the stage for how shitty this haircut's gonna be. And it's funny too, because like even at this day and age, and how long I've been doing this, I once in a while have clients who don't know me, and they sit down and they treat me like it's my first day, and they try to like, all right, man, I want like a skin fade, but like I'm concerned because I don't want there to be no lines. Like, do you know how to do that haircut? And I'm like, yeah, I've done it a few times, And it's just funny. It's just funny, man. Good morning, Jordan. Jordan got his clippers. I was checking up on him the other day, man. Glad to hear you got them. He said, so what? Said, I'm 30. I got a wife, 2 kids. On Monday, we're taking my daughter to Vegas to celebrate her 8th birthday. Living good. So glad I abandoned all that thug friends 12 years ago. And that's actually a good point too. So what says, he abandoned a lot of his thug friends. And the reality is, there's also people around you that you surround yourself with that could easily be kind of holding you down in ways that you don't even really know. Like, these friends are great. You love them. Maybe you grew up with them. You feel what they feel. You're in that same mentality. But if you think about it from this perspective, what becomes your new normal? Everybody's kind of getting away with this and that, selling drugs, doing this, doing that, making a little money in some other ways that are not really that on the up and up. And, you live your life like this every day, and that just becomes a new normal for you. And you have to watch out for new normals. Like, you should be the one out there setting the next trend. You should be the one out there leading, not necessarily following what all these other people are doing. So if you can surround yourself with people that are kind of on the same wavelength as you, business-wise, financially-wise, like just being a good person-wise. Like the other day, I had a guy, I'm going in the gas station to pay for some gas on my dirt bike. It's literally like $1, the gas. And I'm like, actually like $5 to fill up my tank because of Biden. But anyhow, I'm going in there and I had my headphones on and I pulled some money out of my pocket and I dropped a $50 bill on the ground, right? I didn't even know it. I didn't even hear it, see it, nothing. I'm in line to get my gas and some kid comes in. He goes, hey, sir, you dropped this $50 on the ground. Now, I would have never known. He could have taken that 50, put it in his pocket. And I'll tell you what, when I was his age, I would have put it in my pocket. Guaranteed. I would have said, duck, and laughed about it, put it in my pocket, and robbed the guy. But I'll tell you what, to be a good man, to have the confidence that you can make the money yourself, that you don't got to worry about what other people are doing. You don't got to worry about money that you find on the ground because you can make your own. I tell you, that's a lot of respect. So I respect that young man for giving me my money back. So that's just what I'm talking about. It's just having the knowledge in yourself to know that you can go and get that money, that you don't need to do anything sleazy, to get that money. I smell a skunk. There's definitely a skunk around here. You ever drive by a skunk and it smells so bad, you could just tell? He said, good morning, Bahamas in the house. Loving my Stylecraft and my Gamma. And I love how you do things. Or let me try to say it with your accent. He said, good morning, Bahamas in the house. Loving me Stylecraft and me Gamma. No, I'm just playing. I've been listening to that, I can't even say it, Kawhi the Traveler song. Is it skunk or marijuana? It's definitely a skunk. Boy, if you had marijuana like this, you wouldn't even smoke it. Usually my neighbor is not a skunk. He said, whatever the vision I have, that is my normal. If it doesn't involve that, then it doesn't get my interest. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm calling them. We gotta use our voice. And we got to use our hearts, in the direction of truth and love, man. And really just, So another thing that's going on is I'll be flying out to Austin, y'all. I'll be flying out to Austin. So we're putting the finishing touches on this thing called the Gamma Barberhood, where we're going to get around and we're going to have people teaching. We're going to have people teaching the 6 phases. The 6 phases that I created. I've made a slight tweak to the program, but I actually picked it up and I decided I was going to redo the videos. But then I watched phase 1 and I thought, how the hell could I do that any better? I mean, that video was like damn near perfect. The clipper over comb video, damn near perfect. The shear over comb video, I kind of messed up because the music was a little bit loud, but all in all, some of these videos are pretty damn good. So as of right now, we're going to teach the 6 phases and we're going to teach clipper over comb. But the idea here is we're going to have groups of barbers going around teaching my system. So I'm pretty excited for that. And in other news too, yesterday, I don't know if you guys caught Chris Bassio's live, but he reacted to the Barber Tuition Initiative video, which was pretty awesome of him, and I was pretty grateful that he did that. And as I desired to do a better job with these videos, and I was watching it for at least the 20th time, not counting all the time I spent editing it and everything. I felt like, God, I wish I would have cut so much more out of that video. I could have made it so much more short and concise and to the point. And the future videos, I will do that. I was trying to share with you guys the entire journey, but the truth is, nobody cares about the entire journey. They just want the results. And, I got to be more mindful of that. But I was just trying to show you guys all the moving parts that goes into creating a video like that. We're currently up to I don't know. I think there's 1,300 in the account for the Barber Tuition Initiative. So we're pretty much we haven't received a donation in months. So I don't know what's going to happen, but pretty much we're just going to take this $1,300 and we're just going to have to do something positive with it. I mean, it's not much money. It sounds like a lot to some people, but it's not much money because when you get right down to it, there's not very many barber schools where you could go to barber school for less than $5,000. And I would say the average cost The average cost in the country is probably over 10,000. I haven't done an exact study, but I'm just saying based on what I see around here, it's over 10,000. So that's where we're at, and it isn't going to happen in the way that I thought it was. Probably with the help of some bigger companies, it could happen, but people are just not willing to contribute, in the ways that I kind of hoped that they would have in the beginning. But that's all right. We can still do something nice. And at the very least, the companies are willing to contribute. So, even if we just go to barber school and we bless people, you said $16,000 to go to school in Buffalo. See, that's what I'm saying, man. My tuition in U.S. $500 in Jamaica. Yeah, man, we got to go to the island. We got to go there and go to barber school. It would be so cool to go to Jamaica, man. I want to go to Jamaica. I'm telling you. Not even for like ganja or nothing. It just seems like a beautiful and welcoming place, man. I was watching Yes Theory, and they went to Jamaica the other day, and he was hanging out with like Rastafarian dudes and all this stuff, and it was just like, it was so cool, man. It really was. Like I just wish that I was there. What up, Juan? Good to see you, man. So, I don't know, we might make a little change to the idea. Maybe paying off people's barber tuition is a little bit too ambitious, but I do think that there could be a spin-off idea of it where we could just show up and kind of bless people with some gear and with some stuff that they need. So, and anyhow, that's better than doing nothing. $6K for a restricted barber, $12K for Cosmo and Bonita. See, $20K in Ohio. So this is just weird to me. Like, why is it all over the place like that? Like, what is that school that charges $20,000 doing to generate $20,000? And this is what typically happens too. Like, I've noticed this when the government pays for the shit. Let's say you do the free school, the grants, and all that shit. First off, you got to be an accredited school. It's a ton of trouble. And for some reason, the school that I worked at was never able to be eligible to receive government funding. So I don't know who you got to pay or what's got to happen to make that possible. But what happens is, just like in any situation where someone else is paying, the price goes up. So here you are going to barber school, and they're like, oh, great, the government's going to pay for it? Well, it'll be $20,000. School gets $20,000. Kid gets probably the same bullshit education that the kid would get or the student would get whether they went to a $5,000 program or not. The money just doesn't seem to go to the right places, man. It just doesn't. How is that fair? This school runs off with 30 grand. You get a bullshit education, and they just sit there and they just do it over and over again because they're getting that money basically directly from the government. The colleges in UK are trash, Rusty says. So I got robbed from the school that he started to go to. What happened? 1,800 hours in Ohio. It's 3 days a week. It takes 14 months if you go every day. Just like when you hear a barber gets booked in the rain and the rates, this school is packed. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And Chris, let me ask you this, Chris. In your experience so far, how do you feel like the training is? Do you feel like you're getting a good education? Do you feel like it's worth the money that you're paying, or do you feel like you're kind of getting ripped off a little bit? Because if I'm just looking at the numbers, I'm thinking like, man, he's paying a lot compared to what other people are paying. I do this all the time on here, and I just don't understand how there's zero standard whatsoever. People are charging $5,000, people are charging $10,000, people are charging $20,000, and it doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of rhyme or reason. School's only open 3 days a week. That's bullshit too. If you got to do 1,800 hours, I don't know how you're doing 3 days a week, 1,800 hours, and you're getting it done in 14 months. Like, that just doesn't seem like the math adds up, dude. I bet you most people are not done with that program for a year and a half. I bet you they're probably not done with that for 2 years. Because realistically, if you're putting in 10-hour days, which you're probably not, that would only be 30 hours a week. And, you know, if you got 30 hours a week, you're what, 120 hours a month? That's assuming everything goes right and you put in 10 hours. I mean, it's just not open enough. Like our school, the cool thing about our school was, one, the tuition was fair comparatively to what was around. Two, you could go in at 8 a.m. and you could stay till 10 p.m. and you could do it every day except for Friday. So we had students come in that didn't have jobs and they just pretty much lived there. Boom, 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 boom. So he said they just brought another instructor in. They'll help you with anything if you ask. Worst part is the terrible rap music and the weed smell is terrible. What the fuck kind of school is that they're running stuff like that? So mostly they're teaching you how to pass the exam. That's right, Paige and Styles, and the Cosmo Stylist and the shear work. There are guys that go for more than 2 years. They are 10-hour days. I got lucky in the COVID hours. You got 360 online before the state stopped it. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't feel super fair. What if in the perfect world you paid, let's say, I don't know, something fair. Well, let's just say in a perfect world you paid $8,000 to go to barber school, to get the full barber, no restricted, so that you could do color, you could do everything. And let's say that you had 15, 20 students, and you took that money that you were making and you paid an instructor really well. If that happened, you would get a great education. And the simple reality of why that doesn't happen is because barbers can make too much money. They make too much money when they're just working. So to pay them at the schools, it's hard to keep them. He said most schools here were free through a training institute, but closed down. People were not coming in to train people proper. So I'm mostly on YouTube to learn. I need that certificate and license though. Right? He said do an online school. You pretty much already are. Just get it accredited. I wouldn't even know where to start. I really wouldn't even know where to start or how to even do something like that. Because like I said, we're based in Florida. So who knows? You know, there's a part of me that would love, I would love to open a school. I really would. But logistically, the nightmare and the things that I would have to jump through, you know, to make that possible. And I'm actually supposed to go film a school for advertisement purposes pretty soon. He said, that's why I chose to find a master barber to apprentice me, 2,250 hours, but I get paid as I go instead of paying. You know, I really think that's a great thing. I don't know why we can't do that in the state of Florida. I would love that. I would love to be able to apprentice people, because like right now, if somebody comes and wants me to do anything for them, like it's like, yeah, you know, I really can't do nothing. Like legally, you're not even allowed to be cutting any hair in the shop. And if you were to cut some hair in the shop and somehow the state board was to find out, you know, that could cause me and you problems. So, I don't know, man. Maybe I need to write DeSantis. And say, yo, get this barber board tuned up, man. Get these people doing the right things. It would be nice to see, you know, it would be nice to see, like, the apprenticeship program in Florida work. That would be really cool. He said, right now I have 1,300 hours and almost there as you get in shop experience. And that's the reality is you're never going to learn at a school the way you will behind a chair. And the other side of it, I guess the downside of it for anybody who does the apprenticeship program is, are you going to be able to pass the state board? Because in barber school, we spent generally half of every day discussing theory, and the other half was hands-on. And that was, you know, hit the books and really know this information. And that was if you had an instructor that really understood the information too. Because like, if you can't draw out like a pH scale and explain where everything is chemically wise and why, you know, what it means to have, you know, what like porosity means, what elasticity means, what all these little terms mean. You're just saying them and they don't mean anything, and you're just committing them to memory, for no great purpose. But when you really understand what's happening, when hair is really porous, when you have the cuticle, the cortex, and sometimes the medulla, and you're breaking down all the parts, like where chemical change happens in the cortex, where you basically have the cuticles and they open up during permanent hair coloring so that permanent color can penetrate the cortex. When you have an instructor that can explain all of those things so that you understand them, not just memorize them, then you're going to be able to pass that state board pretty easy. My instructor was second to none. I still don't ever feel like I ever could accomplish myself to the point where I could be as good as she was. I mean, she was tough, man. She was like boot camp. Everybody was like, oh, you don't want Miss Amaker. You don't want Miss Amaker. She's tough, man. She'll throw you right out of that class. And that's true. She would. But she just didn't take no shit, man. And she expected you to do what you said you wanted to do. Like when we went to hair school, it was us who decided that we wanted to go. So if it's you who decided that you want to go, and you're not doing the shit you said you would, it's you who's not holding up your side of the bargain. And, the reality was in New York State, I was getting that education for free because I did it during high school. So if she would have thrown me out of that class, I wouldn't have got that education for free. So I took it serious. And I understood that this was what I wanted to do. So I was actually probably one of the better students she ever had, because I was like the one throwing up my hand, answer every question, because she helped me to understand it to the point where I felt like I could educate others. And I still to this day do. So she had a huge impact on me. And, I hope that I had that same impact on the people that I taught when I worked at the school. But finding that in your barber school is not always going to happen, man. So back to what I said the other day, man. If you're struggling to get through this and you're looking to blame anybody else, well, I'm going to tell you what. You just need to look in the mirror and blame yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's you who's responsible for your learning. All right, you guys. I got my annoying client right behind me.
You got a stupid ass haircut, too.
Yo, what happened in my neighborhood? No, don't tell me. We live. That's a big, you run with this cart?
Uh-oh.
You don't exercise? Why you got this running cart? This is you could run through the woods with that.
It's what the wife wanted.
Just in case she wants to exercise?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Good Morning Live. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.